audio back. So now everybody should be hearing. YouTube is giving me problems tonight a bit. My computers were giving me problems a bit, Jan. Had to reboot the one that I talked to Tim on. And when that was happening, so I think, my CPU still 100% on that one, Tim. So but it's, Windows need a little bit of time to settle down after you reboot. It's still working through its process there. Oh, good. So let's do it. So, wait. I had your volume still turned off, so I probably couldn't hear you. So let's do a sound check.
I'm just closing Windows on my other computer. That's not good. My other screen.
All right. So give me a sound check, Tim.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it helps if I push this button. So try again.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
That looks fine to me. So I don't forget, and so I can get this off my desk, I'm just going to hit the record button everywhere.
There you go. Everywhere.
Well, I got to do it 3 places. There we go. 3 places. But yeah, I was telling you that the one that I capture the websites on and watch the chats, it's only used for this show, but this is like an 8-core AMD machine. It's not a bad machine. Just in today's standards, it's a little weak.
Right.
Still 16 gig of RAM. I mean, it's a decent machine, but something happened in one of the Windows updates, and it's probably been a year, and it won't update anymore. So it's having some problems. And what I need to do is just go through the process of reinstalling it so I can get past those issues.
You on Windows 10 on all your computers?
Windows 10 on all the computers. Yep. Or everyone, not just the ones down here, but kids and all of us. Yeah. Windows 10. The other one's not.
I actually like it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, the only one's not is my Unraid server.
Oh. The only one of mine is my work computer, and that'll be updated.
My work computer is still Windows 7.
Yeah, they're slowly getting there.
Hold on one second, Tim. So how's the weather up there? How are y'all doing?
Oh man, it was cold yesterday.
I talked to AD probably every day now, and I guess I don't know where he lives in relation to you, but I know, was it Sunday or Monday? I think it was Sunday, maybe Monday going into Monday, where they got 2 feet of snow, something like that.
Oh, where he is? Yeah. I know. I was south of him then. I got probably 2 feet of rain, but no snow.
Oh, they got tons of snow. So he was out there, having to clear the driveway a bunch of times, and it's hard work.
Yeah, we got lucky. Thank God.
It was freezing cold. I think at one point it was down to 0 or below. 0.
Yeah, I had 5.9 yesterday when I got up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what the wind chill was in it. They were talking yesterday. One of the places I used to ski, Killington, Vermont. It was -10 wind chill. -31, and the top of the mountain, the snowcats were frozen into the mountain. They couldn't move them to groom the snow, so the mountain was shut down. I was like, oh my God.
That's insane.
Yeah. I'm not ready for that. So I'll be happy if I don't get much snow. I have my snowblower ready, but you know what? If it never comes, I'm okay with that.
See, we're supposed to get down to 25, which is low for us, Friday night.
That is cold for you guys down there.
It is, and I think earlier in the week they were talking we were going to get down into the teens, but now it doesn't look like it. But, tomorrow's weather forecast may be something totally different.
Well, tomorrow, yesterday I said it was in the single digits almost the whole day. Today it was in the teens, got up to about 25. Tomorrow's supposed to go to 45 and Thursday 55.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
crazy.
It'll be spring before we know it. You know what I've noticed every day when I drive home? Not every day, but as I drive home and as I go into work in the morning, it seems to be a little bit brighter.
Mm-hmm.
The days are getting a little bit longer. I can't remember, when does time change happen?
It's got to be the end of March.
Is it into March? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
That's when it really makes a difference. Because what I'd love to do is when I get home, go for a walk and come back, and toward the end, right before they change the time to what we're in now.
March 10th.
March 10th.
Even earlier than expected.
Well, when they moved the time back, up to that point, when I come home, I got to go immediately out, because by the time I'm getting back, it's already getting dark.
Yeah.
Then once I make the time change, it's over. But now that once we make the time change the other way, now I have a good long time to walk and do whatever else I want to. Jan says they canceled church because of the weather. Yep. In fact, they cancel everything because of the weather down here sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's like the people that were in Times Square this year on New Year's. No, it was pouring there.
Yeah.
No, I won't even go in if it's nice weather. Nevertheless, if it's bad weather.
I don't like huge crowds. And
I wouldn't need 1 million people. What do I need to be staying there for?
I've never been there, but what I understand is when you're there, you can't leave. You're basically stuck. There's no restrooms.
You're in like corrals.
Yeah, you're and there's no restrooms. Aren't people wearing diapers and stuff?
They must be.
Because I mean,
you're not drinking a lot.
Yeah, you gotta use the bathroom sometime. I can watch that stuff from my house.
Yes, and have all the food I want and all the drinks I want. Don't have to drive.
Be nice and warm and not rain on. And this isn't just me because I'm old. I've never wanted to go do that. I've never liked big crowds.
No.
Some people do. I've just never liked that.
I don't know that the crowds bother me, but the fact that you're stuck there for 12 hours. Yeah, that's not for me. I'm sorry. There's a lot more things in life that I'd rather do than that.
Yep. You know what? We're just chatting, but I forgot to put pre-show up here. So anybody coming in is wondering what is this show about? Just two guys talking about the weather? What's happening? And I guess it's because I'm rusty, and we're now at that time, as you see the clock is turned green and saying, "Hey, yes. you should start."
We're on the wrong side. My God, this 20 minutes went fast.
I put pre-show up after we should have started.
It's actually the show.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and get pre-show off, and then we'll start. Dang it. All right, that's jpeg2RAW, show number 226 here in January 22nd. Actually, our first one in January, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Different things have lined
up.
First
one in 2019.
Yes, yeah, that's a better way to say it. That's what I meant to say. First one in 2019. Things have lined up where we've missed a few weeks here, and we're back on track. I am talking, Tim, to. I'll go into this a little bit later as one of our news articles, but a photographer who I think is a wonderful, great photographer, and talks with him to come on the show as maybe one of our first guests. And I've mentioned before we wanted to get more guests in 2019, so we're going to do that. But that's for a future date. For tonight, we're going to go over a few things and a few discussion items. One, I was telling you when we talked about Christmas items last time we met. And I did end up getting some of those leaf filters. I haven't used them yet, but I got the adapter, which is this little guy. This goes on to the lens to 77 millimeter to adapt to and fit all these filters on there. I got neutral density grad set.
All right.
Which doesn't say here. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3. It's a 0.3, 0.6, and 0.9. What did I get here? I guess I got another grad, a 1.24 stops. And then I got the bracket itself, which is, this doodad.
Right.
that goes in there. So I have to report back once I start using it. I have it all, but I haven't been doing any landscape photography yet in January. I have gone out last 2 weekends and I've been shooting basketball.
Good.
Photographing basketball, not shooting basketball. Photographing basketball. And I wanted to mention something that I ran into, and this may be unique to my computer, but if you have this issue come up, if you're wondering what's going on, check this just to see if you're running into the same issue. So I come back, for per game, I may take anywhere from 400 to 600 photos.
Okay.
In a younger child basketball game. Older child basketball game, it may be quite a bit more. Older person basketball game. And so I'm coming home. I've got my D500, which I think is like 22 megapixels, somewhere in that range. I shoot in RAW. I come home, put it into my card reader, start to download. And the first weekend I started to download, I went and did something else, came back, didn't notice anything. This time I was doing the download and I was trying to do some other work and I wanted it to, get done so I can start going through and coloring the images. And it was taking forever. It was, seemed to be making almost no progress on my CPU. Mm-hmm. I looked over at my CPU, it was maxed out at 100%. And I'm wondering, why is Lightroom sucking up so much of my CPU just downloading these files?
Right.
And it is doing the smart previews. It is doing a second copy to my network drive. So it is doing a few other things than just copying the files and putting them into the catalog. But what I found out was my Windows Explorer was what was really sucking up all the CPU time. So you pull up Task Manager. I looked at the what was taking up all my CPU. It was Windows Explorer was taking up 80-90% and starving Lightroom from getting any kind of CPU cycles. I don't know what was causing that, but I know the easy fix. I just closed Windows Explorer. I didn't need it open.
Okay.
As soon as I did that, Lightroom went back to normal. CPU
that's
usage went back to
interesting.
normal, and boom, it sucked them on in and did its work. Still takes a little bit to bring in 500 raw files from a 20-something megapixel camera. But if you're noticing Lightroom, if you have a decent computer and you notice Lightroom taking up massive CPU and bringing stuff in slow, check that. Check and see if it's Windows Explorer that's doing that. Go into your Task Manager and see if there's something other than Lightroom sucking up a lot of your CPU.
All right, I'm going to try. I'll try that the next time. I mean, some of it I contribute, like I was talking before. My computer is now 4+ years old, so I think that's starting to show its age.
And, one of the things with Windows versus a Mac is there's so many variants of the machine.
There is.
There's some, thousands or maybe tens of thousands of variants. So it could be something unique to my machine and my software loadout that's causing that. Or it could be a common problem that other people run into. But, if you run into that problem, check that just to see.
Yep.
All right, so that was my tip of the week. Or
that was an early tip.
Probably turned out to be tip of the month.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go to our first article up here, Tim. And this one, you won't have audio because I don't know if there's any music and it will have copyright strikes. But Will Berard Lucas, I guess, photographer. He's, I think, in Antarctica right now, which is just, I'm so jealous. That's just an awesome place to be.
He's low down to the water too.
At the time of this video, he was. Well, he made
I'm cold looking at that.
Yes, it is cold down there. He made something called the Beetle Cam. He also made, I think he has something else called, we'll see it in a second, but it's a different camera that he's made. These are like camera traps. Like, let's say you're trying to photograph.
Okay, yeah.
He's using it in Africa or some other, great places that he gets to travel to. If you're like me and not traveling to Africa and Antarctica and all these other places, you may
That's
be able
bigger than I expected.
It is. It's a fairly good size, and I think at one point a lion attacked it and destroyed it. But you see this photo of this elephant, a wild elephant, maybe not even a wild elephant, but it's probably not a good idea to be that close to an elephant or a cheetah.
Yep.
Yeah, or I think that's coming up
staring
next.
it down. That is a great shot.
Yes. So you get these unique shots that you can't get, normally as it just with you holding the camera. It's not that expensive. He does sell these on his website, the Beetle Cam, and the other one we'll look at here in a second. The other one is more of a camera trap where it's just got basically you're showing it in the middle there. It's a motion sensor thing, and it attaches to your DSLR, so you'd have to leave your DSLR out there or your mirrorless, and you can attach a flash to it too. So it does like this image with the hyena, where he sets it up and the animal comes by and you get a trap, or the lion. He's doing these because they're nighttime, more nighttime active, night active. But because they're fairly reasonable, I think this is in euros when we look at it, but the camera motion sensor thing is like under $200. So if you wanted to get something like this and set it up and put it in your backyard to photograph, that's the motion sensor thing. To photograph animals in your backyard, you wouldn't want to go, because you're leaving your camera there. I don't know if I just go put it out in the wild and walk away.
Yeah, no. Well, depending where you live. If you live in a rural area, yeah, you can do this.
You can, but realize you're going to be leaving your camera there for whatever time frame you're trying to capture the stuff. But it does give you some unique perspectives of things. He got these on the ground. You could prop them up and put them higher if you wanted to. Nothing says you can't. But I think that's really cool. I don't know if I would buy it because I don't know if I want to leave my camera out overnight like that. But maybe you don't put your DSLR out there. You put a GoPro or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would leave a GoPro.
You could put other things.
I would put a GoPro.
You may even have an old camera.
Yeah, I would definitely leave
phone,
a GoPro
anything,
out overnight in the backyard. Yeah. It doesn't have to be overnight. It could be in the daytime because at night you're gonna need to add some flash. Here's the.
Well, he's got a metal camera housing as well, so I guess you can also use that to.
Yeah, so and this shows you a little bit of it where you got the camera, you got the motion sensor, and then he has a flash, and he's got them all set up. If you go to the store, I think the motion sensors are euros. You'd have to convert that to whatever your dollar is.
That's British pound, I think, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yes, you're right, British pound. So you have to do the currency conversion, but that's 145 pounds. This thing, I guess, is on, this is version 3, this is version 2. The version 3 is 160 pounds, again, whatever the conversion rates are. And then you can get some cables for whatever kind of camera you have and wireless triggers. They're not that expensive. So, taking a camera you already have, you can probably for under, $300-400 get a whole setup to do this.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
We talk about some cool things on here. I never get around to actually doing them, except for that,
because I'm not independently wealthy.
Yeah, because that the only thing I really bought was that lens cap thing, which I did.
I want to hear the review on that because that looks pretty good.
What I did?
Oh no, not the lens cap. No, the lens cap. Yeah, that one I wouldn't get. But your filters.
Yes, the filters. Yes,
I'm looking forward to a review on that.
Yeah.
No, the lens cap thing. Yeah, no, it's a good idea. It's an idea for a solution that is not needed for me.
Yeah, they did do something, and I think it's in what do you call it? And when they put it out there for people to fund it, GoFundMe or something like that.
GoFundMe.
I think it's in GoFundMe or
not the other one.
Yeah, where they've made different sizes. So they made a size that is for bigger lenses. They made a size, I think, that's for smaller lenses. They made some other design changes. I'm not going to do the GoFundMe thing or whatever they're using. I don't know if they're using GoFundMe. I'm just saying that. But I might buy the larger one when it comes out in the market and do a follow-up review with that one since I was critical.
Right.
So I was critical of the first one. I'll give them another chance. Again, I can't see me using it.
They never reached out to you, though, right?
No.
I guess that means they never heard your...
They either never heard it or figured they don't care. They're selling enough of them. Yeah, but you had a story here, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little
increased. And this was an interesting one. I saw it came across my phone the other day, and probably because I have Sony as part of it. And lasers from a self-driving car damaged this guy's brand. Pretty much, I think it was a 2-week-old Sony A7R. And the next picture on the article shows the type of car, and it's one of these self-driving vehicles that has a LiDAR on top of it, which is light detection and ranging unit, which helps the vehicle, determine what the obstacles are around it. And it looks like he was taking. Now I don't know if this is the exact picture he took of it, and it probably is, where he was under an awning of probably the hotel where the car was out at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. And he took a picture of it, didn't think anything of it because he's taking pictures of all sorts of electronic things. And subsequently, he was obviously taking more pictures. And then he noticed in all the subsequent pictures that there was an actual damage to his sensor, because it had a purple line coming down from the actual picture in every single picture, in the same thing. So apparently that's now causing issues. Now the guy said he had taken pictures of multiple other ones and never had the issue previously. So maybe this is the company. I think it's the name of the company was what was the name of it?
IDAR.
Yeah, something like that. So maybe their LiDAR that on top of it is a little bit more powerful than what is on other cars, and it actually damaged it. On the bright side, they did offer to pay for his camera, which, if I remember reading, was like 2 weeks old, so it was a $2,500 or $3,500 camera body, which obviously would destroy most people if you find out that your camera is damaged just from taking a picture of something that is out in the open. Now, you're not talking about going into some secure government area or something. You're talking about a car that is ultimately expected to be driving on the street where a lot of people are going to take pictures. So this is concerning, because do you really want to take pictures of it? Now, and I think of all the times I've seen people that take pictures of the Google car that's doing the mapping out there, or even the Apple car that's doing mapping. I've never heard of this before where it's damaged. Well, actually, now I think about it, the Google car, the mapping cars, that's just cameras on top.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of people that have taken pictures of the self-driving vehicles out there, and this is the first time that I've heard that somebody's sensor was damaged as a result of it. Now, I don't know. It looks like he was taking it. The picture may have been taken where there's a little bit of shade, so maybe there's a little bit more exposure to it, which caused it. And maybe it's just perfect timing of when the laser struck the camera sensor as he took the picture. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, because if you think that these become more popular and there's more of them out there, blasting these laser things everywhere.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to be taking a picture of the car to be hit. So let's say you're taking a picture of whatever, one of these cars drives by and their laser beam blasts your sensor. You could be just a victim as it drives by, and the odds are there of you then making a connection of that's what did it are probably pretty low.
I would think so. You're right.
And I don't know can you even see these things when it's out in the daylight driving around? Can you see the laser beams?
No, that's
so
invisible light.
Yeah, so it's driving by, blasting these laser beams out everywhere. You can't see it, and your camera can though. Damages your camera. Right,
because the wavelength is in there, and it's
damages your camera, and you have no idea why. There's another article that goes right along with this one, which is the risk of laser from
laser light shows
at this came across at concerts, where a guy who has done a lot of photographing of concerts. I forget the photographer's name. Nandu Hermanson.
Sounds good to me.
Good enough. He shoots. He shot with film, and of course that didn't do anything to the film. Then
right, because you just go to the next piece of film.
Yeah, and it may be that mirrorless are more prone to
susceptible.
This, because you think about a DSLR, it's got that thing flapping up, the mirror flapping up, and exposing the sensor for a shorter period of time, where your mirrorless sensor is exposed all the time, right?
Pretty much all the time, yeah.
Yeah, so he had one with his mirrorless, I think it was Sony also, where he did a longer exposure because he wanted to get this unique look right here of more lights. And I think during that longer exposure, and it wasn't a really long, but it's longer than what he normally would have done, he started noticing, when he did landscape photos, all these little weird things in his landscape. You can't tell there, but when we come down to this photo, you can see this. It almost looks like, from that image, I don't know if y'all can tell, it almost looks like the sensor bubbled up a little bit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, he'd contacted the
actually, it was only a half a second shot, he says on this,
yeah,
which is not really a A long exposure.
No, and his sensor, he was sent it in to be repaired, and the entire sensor for $500-$600 had to be replaced.
Wow. And this was actually a Canon EOS 5D. So
Oh, so that's not even mirrorless.
no, that was. But now you have it for a half second, so that might be when it's burning into it. So maybe that fast shutter, the 1/200 on your camera is probably not going to do it. But my camera, where it's mirrorless and it's constantly the lights hitting the sensor, yeah, that could probably cause it. And who knows how long the guy was focused in on that the car roof as well before he took the shot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't know how long he was there exposing. So, Tim, what is one of the reasons why people move to mirrorless?
Smaller camera body.
Smaller camera body.
So small, definitely weight is the big issue, I would think.
Weight, yes.
Mirrorless, you constantly have well, for me, I like the fact that I'm able to see everything through my viewfinder all the time.
Right, that's a big plus. A lot of people like that. Weight is another one, size is another one, all that kind of stuff.
Sure as hell not money.
No, because they end up being about the same amount of money. So this guy, Spencer Cox, has done a analysis of over 700 lenses that have been released.
Jeez.
Yeah, he did a little database of over 700 lenses that have been released since 2000, I think it is. Looking at them from a weight perspective and wanting to know how they, over time, the weight of the average lens has changed, and especially now that we have mirrorless. And he looked at it in a couple of different ways, both an average, which basically takes all the weights for that year and adds them up, divides by the number of lenses, and you get an average. But that sometimes can skew it, because let's say that year they released a 600 millimeter f4.
Right.
That's going to be super heavy and it's going to skew the weight. So he also did a median, which picks the middle weight. So here's a little example down here. So if you have 5, 11, 13, 7, 94, that 94 would skew the average. An average here would be 28. The median, I said mean, but the median would be 13, which is the weight in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So he did this, and he did both the average, he did both the median, and he shows that how it's changed over time. With the advent of mirrorless cameras, this you would expect to see over time that the weight of the lenses on these smaller bodies, maybe in some cases, would also be coming down. The weight of the lenses would be coming down. What he found was just the opposite. So as we scroll down, and it is since 2000, I said. Where's this first graph? Did I go past the graphs? Is it not showing the graphs? Hold on a second. We may have to let's go back to you and me as I refresh the page, because none of the graphs are showing up. But you'll see an interesting trend if I get this pulled up of where the lens weights have gone. This is insane. None of the lens weight stuff is coming up.
Yeah, I just have the scatter charts in this.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a link somewhere? DP lens database, lens light index.
No, maybe I have to come back to this article.
I saw the conclusion, and it makes me say I'm keeping my camera body.
Yeah. So, as I wait for that to maybe never come up, long story short is since
there's a chart at the bottom.
Here we go.
Let's see if you got the same thing I found.
All right. So the running average of lenses, you can see here, went down in 2013 and has come up. And he is doing, I think, a running average of 100
right.
or something like that. So it's like the 100 most recently added lenses. So you're not having 1 year where they only did 5, skew it too much.
Right.
This computer is giving me nothing but trouble. But when you look at the median, weight, you see a much more dramatic change here. So around 2013 again was the drop, the lowest point, and it's been steadily increasing ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And what he found, the conclusion to this was, what's causing this? Conclusion to this was cameras for mirrorless bodies have been the most dramatic increases in weight. And mainly from the third-party vendors.
Right, yeah, I saw that.
Because when you look at the Nikon lenses, that chart's almost useless. When you look at the Nikon lenses, they're fairly static. There's not a whole lot of them there. When you look at the Canon, you're seeing a pretty wild chart, but it's recently a big jump, but that may be a fewer number of lenses. It's not too bad there. The median weight of Canon, though, has gone up, but it's been more in the third party, and I don't know if he has enough of them here to show you that, but it's been more in the third party lenses and the mirrorless lenses, and that could be that the Sigmas and the Tamrons and the Tokinas are producing higher quality materials and lenses than they used to, and becoming more on par.
They used to be more plastic, and
they may be coming more on par with the brands, and therefore the average weight of those lenses are going up. But it's the weight of the mirrorless lenses are a big driver of what he was seeing there.
Well, and I think one of the other things he had in his conclusion was they're using larger glass in a lot of these lenses, so you're getting much better, much sharper pictures than you were before also. So the quality is improving, and maybe the thought, and this might be part of the reasoning, is they're able to get the clarity out of the old lens. Maybe it would have weighed 50% more, so now you're raising the weight of these a little bit to get a larger quality picture. Mm-hmm. So there's more to it than just the weight of the lens determining it. But you're right. The part of the whole idea with the mirrorless was your body shrunk easily in half, and now the camera lenses were smaller, so you weren't lugging 15, 25 pounds of camera gear around. But now you're going to be getting back to that again anyway.
Yeah, and that was originally the thought with the Micro Four Thirds. Yeah. Is that what it was? Micro Four Thirds?
Yeah, Micro Four Thirds.
Where, it's going to be a smaller sensor, a smaller camera body, smaller lenses. You're going to have the smaller kit. And it did well for a while, but it really is not, it's reached a peak and it's not growing. And, I don't know of anybody who shoots with that, and unless somebody's out in chat and wants to say something. It seems like you stuck with a DSLR a cropped sensor from Canon or Nikon or whatever brand, or the full frame, or you've gone mirrorless and whatever crop and full frame they have.
Well, you know what? The good thing is I was just researching this weekend the replacement to my body, because I think my camera body is probably about 10 years old, wow. 9 or 10 years old. So I'm like, I want a new body. And there's rumors that the replacement to my body, I have the A77. The A77 II came out probably about four or 5 years ago. So now they're saying the second quarter of 2019, they already have all the specs for it. So hopefully it's truth, and maybe I consider buying that body and replacing. I have 3 of the same body right now.
You have 3 of the same body?
3 of the same body, yeah. Because I wound up, I don't even know where I got the third one, but maybe the third one was because I was buying the, oh no, I remember. I had a problem with my lens, my 1650 2.8. So I needed to get a new lens. To buy the lens with the camera cost me like an extra $150. So I said, all right, I'll take that because it was used. And then I wanted the motor drive. And getting the motor drive, I got the body, and it was just so now I have 3, and one of them is, I think, brand new. I haven't even taken out of the box.
Wow!
So that one is, if I'm going to sell one, that's the one I'm selling.
Yeah, that's something. I have really just the one I use. I have behind me. I have a Nikon D2X that I've converted to full-time infrared, so I use that sometimes too. But I've been eyeing the Nikon D850. There's some weird things.
It just dropped in price.
I know. There's some weird things going on with the D850. It dropped in price by $200, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
which
that's what it was.
and but the weird thing is it's been out of stock a lot here in the U.S. So they're not dropping the price to move the inventory because it's been hard to get one in the first place.
Yeah, that's weird. So I wonder if there's something. It didn't get the best of reviews. Initially, it came out with good reviews, and then later on, they started complaining that it didn't have enough.
I don't know about that. I've heard great reviews from it.
Well,
That's what that's.
you're a Nikon guy.
I am biased. I am a little biased.
I'm a
But
little biased too.
but that I've heard a lot of great reviews of it. So I don't know. Maybe they're working to come up with the replacement for the Nikon D850, which would be great. Maybe that would lower the price some more, and I could pick one up a little cheaper. I don't mind buying a used one as long as it's in good shape.
Right.
Yep. And you know what I think I'll do, because we all want to be a better photographer, Tim. What you should do if you want to become an expert photographer,
Oh boy.
an expert photographer, and you have $19 to spare, you can just take a 30-hour video course, spend $19, and you'll become an expert photographer.
That is awfully cheap.
That is awfully cheap.
But becoming an expert photographer, that's
Well, the internet can't lie, can it? I mean,
no, they can't.
this is 9 to 5 Toys, and they have an offer here for $19. You get access to 30 hours of video training, and you will become a expert photographer.
That's a reduction of $226.
Yes.
200. Well, originally 207.
Originally 207, yes. Now only $19. So whatever that percentage is, it's large.
Yeah. Like 90%.
So, if you're currently someone who's never taken a photo before and you want to quickly become an expert, you can, and then I guess after this course, you can claim you're an expert. You just need 30 hours and $19, and you'll become an expert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Expert.
The sad thing is that there's, it's the Essential Digital Photography Masterclass Bundle for $19.
Now I'm going to see, what is it? What does that include? Digital photography introduction, $69 value. Advanced digital photography, $69. Oh, here it is. Included. Using Adobe Photoshop Elements 15. $69 value. So I don't even know what Photoshop elements are they up to?
I can tell you that in all the years we've been doing this show, and all the people we've talked to, we've spoken to some people who maybe, based on my skill level, I would classify them as experts that have been doing it for years and have been doing it thousands of hours of working on it, and they may not claim them experts. To me, they are. But you and I have been taking photos for years, and I know there's no way in heck I would ever say that I'm an expert, and there's no way that after 30 hours of watching a video, you are going to become an expert. I think it's good to take courses, whether it's an online course or whether it's a workshop. Workshops are great if you go and take one with a photographer that you like and you think will give you value. So not putting down those things. There's some good ones out there, but like DF said, scam. And Jan says, expert by whose standards? By the standards of people you gave $19 to. Yeah. So, and DF says, tons of experts on YouTube. There's tons of people who claim to be experts. There are people who are actually really good and you can learn from on YouTube too. And all that's going to be free. So, yeah, don't spend.
Well, mind you,
$19 on this.
Photoshop Elements came out October of 2016, so that tells you how old this course is. There are already 2 versions past that.
Yeah,
So I think that's part of the issue here.
This was posted yesterday.
They have yeah. Well, no, and there it is. 90% off. The problem is it's something that they have that they just want to get rid of. If somebody buys it, it's $19 more than they had, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes you got to pay a little bit for quality. I mean, if whatever type of photography you're in, there's, you can either look online and get, free video tutorials. You can look and see who's in your genre that you like, who's doing a workshop and maybe in your area or an area you can travel to and do those things, or just do like a lot of people do and just practice, 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 and slowly get better. But 30 hours later, for $19, you're not going to be an expert.
No, no. I'm not sure if 300 hours you'd be an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be a better photographer, but you're not going to be. Expert is a.
So it's just a
Stretch
word of
word.
warning to be careful before you pay for something. And I know people are always looking for a deal. Every deal is not a good deal,
Yeah.
you know. All right. So the last article I had is a pretty, what I think is a pretty cool article. You know, I know Christina knows this and probably Jan. Even at my age, I still play video games. My generation is responsible for the you know, or we were the generation where it started. I don't know if I'd say we're responsible for it, because I think any generation that started it would have been big. But you know, video games really started and became popular with my generation. So I played when I was a kid. I still play now. I play a video game with A.D. Wheeler, who's I do another podcast with and has been on here.
Into the middle of the night.
Yeah, we play quite often. I've met another great photographer on there who we're going to try and get in the show, Walter Arnold, who played with us quite a bit. But that leads me into this next story, in that, you know, when you play video games, I'm not necessarily playing the sports ones, but if you play Madden football or you play, the soccer ones or the basketball ones or any of those, you know, those games are taking athletes that are the current athletes, because they're making a new one like Madden 2019, because they got to do that to get you to buy another one. And they're taking the athletes of that year and putting them in the game. And they have to do something where they get, you know, detailed photos of these athletes so that when you look at it in the game, it looks like that player. They have a studio. So this is EA Sports is doing a lot of these. They have a studio up in Vancouver, Canada, where they will bring people in and do, you know, photo shoots with them. And they even have a thing where they can do the full body thing, where they put all the little dots on
with
you.
153 cameras.
Yeah, 153 cameras where you want to get the motion of you and like the full body thing. But flying up to Vancouver and doing that, you know, long shoot is not something that every athlete can do. So what they have set up is this mobile thing where, you know, they can quickly get a 3D scan of the athlete's face. They can't do the full body. They can't do all that motion stuff. But they have, how many cameras was it, Tim?
17, I think.
17 Canon, what are they using? Canon
5Ds or EOS Rebels.
Yeah, where they have these set up and they're taking. You can see it on this ring where the athlete will come and just sit there, and it will go around and take all these photos of their face, so then they can put that photo into the video game. And if you've never really played video games, or if you're my age or older and you're wondering why are they doing that sounds ridiculous. Video games today are multi-billion-dollar industries. They're some of the big names that you hear are spending, you know, they're spending movie money on these video games, $100 million, and then selling $1 billion worth of the video game. So they're spending the money on taking the photos of these athletes or whatever the other thing is, and wanting good quality stuff. So, you know, there's reasons why they do this thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the money, even like, and that you're talking about like console games that are making money, but just think of some of these games on your phones, how much money they're making. I heard, was it Fortnite, I guess, is the big game right now. And I was reading an article the other day, $500 million just on, I don't know which platform it was, $500 million for the game. That's crazy. Yeah. Crazy money.
That they spent on it or made from it?
No, they make on or so. And I got to look. How much is Fortnite making a week? It's some stupid money.
Well, and Fortnite is a free game, so they're making it from people buying stuff after they are playing the free game. Yeah, some of the big titles make a lot. And you can see here, one of the things that's exploding in video games that hasn't necessarily been there until recent history is female athletes in these
It's making
video
about
games.
300 million a month.
Wow, that's insane. So you can see here, this is Christian Sinclair, who's a softball player, a soccer player. I'm not big into the soccer game, so I don't know these. But this is not a photo of her. This is the game, and they got this quality because they do those high scans of her. I think she probably went into the studio to do the the whole motion thing, but that's getting a lot more people buying this because now they have the female athletes in here too, and they show a little thing in their studio down here. Oh, that's another photo. That's not a photo. That is another image from the game. The quality is just getting insane in some of these things, and you see that movies. If you've seen Avengers: Infinity War, Thanos was CGI, totally CGI. But here's where they have them in the studio. They're in these outfits that have all the little dots on them, where they can capture key points of their body and the movement.
So the different movements,
right? And then they put that movement and that thing into the game, and that way, that character in the game has the movements near what the real life person does.
Crazy.
Pretty cool. But I thought this little thing here with all the 17
No, I thought
cameras,
I've never seen that before. I've only seen where they have all the dots on the faces and everything, and that's what I actually thought they did everything with. I didn't realize that they probably have that along with these cameras. That's just... Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, this mobile unit, they can bring around the world.
Yeah, they just bring it. They have a chair for the person to sit in. Yeah. So that it's probably cheaper for them to bring this than to say to, I don't know, pick a Tom Brady or something. Here, come to us into our studio. Probably cheaper for them to bring this to them.
Well, also, let's say you go into the New England Patriots and you have Tom Brady and you have some other players who are going to be part of your, Madden football game. You go there, you can set this up, and you can knock out a few of them right there. So you don't have to fly them all up to Vancouver.
Right.
As long as you only need the facial thing, you don't need the full motion thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And DF says DxO mark ranking 2018 Hasselblad, which is pretty high end. Pentax, and he's giving the camera brands. Then Nikon D850 was number 3. So hey, buddy, it's pretty high up there. Nikon D850, great camera.
Just throw that in there.
Yep. All right. Well, Tim, that was it I had for tonight. We can talk about the photo contest. If you're wondering where is the best of 2018, we have one more judges vote to come in. It should be here no later than Saturday, I think. So we'll probably be announcing the winner or winners, whatever, on Saturday or Sunday. I needed to confirm with her one thing, and then I'll post the 6 finalists.
Okay.
So the 6 finalists out there, I'll probably do that before the weekend. But we'll get the best of 2018 completed this weekend. Some great photos from 2018 that people posted there. Some we've seen before. We're probably going to change up the rules a little bit for 2019 because we wanted to give people an advantage that it entered every month versus a person who just came in and this is their first time
in December
entering.
And right.
So we said, hey, anyone that you entered in a previous month, you can enter, here. I think we'll go back to just saying, just like every other month for the best of, you can enter 2 images. The one difference being it can be taken any time during 2018.
Throughout that year.
Yeah. And that way we don't end up with, 12 images from the same person, which makes the voting a little challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we will be looking for that coming up. And the other thing as we wrap up is how do you enter the photo contest? You go over to our website, which is jpeg2RAW.com/contest. There's a link there for the beginners group, the regulars group. You can do it right from the website where you would fill out the form. It would take you to the upload screen. Or you can go into our Facebook groups. And in the Facebook groups, at the top of the page, as this thing takes forever to come up, we'll see if either one of those want to come up. This computer is just insane. At the top of the page of each of these groups, the beginners group and the regulars group, is an album where you would enter your photo for the month, and you can just upload it there. That's what most people do. It's the easiest way to do it. You can just go right there. We'll come back to that. If you want to subscribe, we're of course on YouTube, and we are on iTunes and the audio format. We're on so in the audio format, we're on iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, and Spotify. For the video format, we're large and small on iTunes, and then we're on YouTube, Vimeo, and Podbean on the video format. So you can get us in any of those locations. We're always out first on YouTube, so that's where you can get us first, and check that out. And it looks like these pages are still not coming up. You just have to imagine what it would look like. There we go. There's one. There we go. So you go top of the page, and the album at the top is where you would enter, and it's got the roles and links and how some people sometimes get confused. How do I enter it into the album? There's a link there with a step-by-step process of how to enter into the album on Facebook. All right, Tim. Well, that's our show for the first show for 2019. Hang out.
We're on a good streak.
Yeah. Hang out for just a little short post show, and we'll see you next show. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
All right, post show.
You know, I was just looking on YouTube. The title says JPEG to RAW Photo Review Show 43 as the title.
You know what? I changed that, and
I saw it a little while ago, but obviously I didn't want to say it during the show.
No, I don't know why. So this is the raw live version, and I can change it after the fact. But what I don't understand is I changed that, and it said saved, and then we went on. So
that apparently it didn't.
Apparently it didn't. So I don't know.
Let me just refresh the screen. Maybe.
No, I've refreshed it. And it's
oh yes, it still says the same thing.
So it's almost like when it said it saved, it didn't really save. But the more important thing is the thing at the bottom of the screen.
It says images from the November 2018 photo contest.
The thing down here says the right thing.
Okay.
Because that's embedded in the video.
Now I'm looking at you on this screen, but then I'm looking over there onto the YouTube screen. Now that one's
this
correct.
This thing down here is embedded in the video, and it would be very difficult for me to get out. I'd have to do some work to get that out. Yep. All right. So I told you I was talking to Walter. Walter is one of the judges. I got him to be one of the judges. He's super excited to come on. We just need to work out a date where he can come on. He goes around the southeast down here, sometimes down here in Atlanta too, and does those, what do they call those, where you have the photos on display,
You're going to say it, and I'm going to know exactly what you're talking about.
Somebody in chat help me. It's photographers go and they have their artwork. Maybe it's even painters too. Have their artwork there on display, and people come in an art show. I guess that's what we'll call it, an art show. And people come in and will look at the work, and you meet the artist, in this case Walter or whoever, and you talk to them, and you end up buying it. So it's a unique experience if you've never done that, because you're not buying something in Walmart that you have no idea. You're going to meet the person. You can ask them questions about the photo. You can when you're done, you bought it. You feel like, hey, not only did I buy this, but I have some kind of connection to that photographer. So he does these art shows all, I think, in Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas.
Like a gallery type thing?
Yeah, photo gallery. I don't know if that's what it's called.
That's probably not it either.
It's not coming out right now. But
you talk about that. It makes a lot of sense. When I was over in Europe the last time, we were looking for a wood carving, a painting of a wood carving, and my friends had purchased one over there a couple of years prior, and we went all over the place, couldn't find it, and we walked into a store. And I'm like, wow, this looks really good. It looks like the type of stuff our friend Brian Nicole had, like the stuff that Simon had, but I know that wasn't the town the guy was from. Lo and behold, we're shopping in the store. He opened up another store, and that was one of his other stores. So I purchased one from him, and it's probably about I guess about 3 feet by 2 feet, maybe even a little bigger, 3.5 by 2.5, a wood carving from a tree. and he showed me the picture he had from a book where he got it, and then he also had there's a story written with it, but now it's written in German. So just this past week, I found the picture from. I think my daughter asked me where the picture came from, so I said, you know what, this is the guy I carved it. I was like, oh wow, it's the story written in German. So I started typing it into Google Translate to come up with the translation for it. I was like, this is why I took a picture of it when I was there, so I would have that. And now Translate works perfectly because I don't speak German, so
Yeah, no,
I have no problem with English.
Neither do I. But Walter's a great photographer, great guy. I talked about video games and when you're playing a cooperative game, which is what I was playing. You kind of get to, even though you're not in the same room. In our case, you're not physically seeing his face in this thing. You're seeing his character. Playing hours and hours with somebody, you kind of get to know them and become, semi friends. And so I feel like I'm friends now with Walter, who is somebody I wanted to have on the show already, and this just makes me want to have him on the show even more. And then looking at his work. Walter Arnold. Let me see if I can find some of his work. It's similar to AD's and some of AD's work because he does some of the abandoned stuff, but he does other things too. See if I can get it pulled up here. Let's see if it's the right guy. Yeah. So this is like an interesting shot. His 2019 calendar. Let's look at his 2019 calendar. And I believe if he's not a full-time photographer, he's close to it. Where can we see the images? I don't know if we can see the images. Oh, yeah. You can only see them tiny. Let's go back. Maybe I can't go back. That was a new page. Anyway, he has a lot of great photos here. Does he have an about me? Yeah, about. And a little video there, nice little write-up. He has somewhere in here his show events. There it is. So I don't know if he's put the 2019 art festivals. So maybe that's what I was trying to think of, art festival. He's going to be in April in Gainesville, Florida. He's going to be in Tallahassee in April. In May, Charlotte. And this is the one I was thinking, Decatur, Georgia, which is really like downtown, or the downtown area of Atlanta in May. I need to try, and if I can, just drop by during that time. We've had Matt Suez, is that how you say his name? We've had him in here 2 or 3 times. He does art shows too.
Oh, yeah.
But he's out in Arizona in that area, so
right.
I'm never going to be able to go to one of those. Oh, and he's back in Atlanta in August.
Atlanta.
And then he's in Stone Mountain in September.
When in August?
September. August 17th and 18th.
Trying to think where I am. I'm probably down in Florida at that point.
Then in September, he's in Stone Mountain, Georgia. That's probably the easiest one for me to get to. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of art shows. If you're wanting to, hey, AD, if you're wanting to make money from your photography, he's working hard going all to these shows and doing all this. So, to make money from your photography, you got to do some work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't just come to you.
Yep. AD comes in at the end where I'm about to wrap up and head out to I wonder where.
A little late, AD. A little late.
Yep. So, I've been playing that game a lot with AD and sometimes with his girlfriend. So it's fun having, playing a cooperative game like that. There's some frustrations every once in a while as the game doesn't cooperate. All right, well, let's wrap it up and head out. Jan, DF, Christina, anybody else I missed, thanks for coming by. We only streamed to YouTube tonight. Facebook the last couple of times have been giving me trouble. We'll try it again eventually, but I didn't want to have to deal with those troubles tonight. So we'll eventually go back to streaming to both places, probably. But Facebook is, for now, at least going to be our main place to stream. Yep.
I'm writing on the calendar. February 5th, I'm not available.
Okay.
I'll be up in Albany, New York.
Yeah, I need to. I put it on the calendar where guests would come in and schedule themselves, but I need to put it on our calendar so I can see when I can't do it, because there's a few times that where I'm going to be out and not be able to do a show.
Yeah, that's the only one that I'm aware of right now.
Okay. Good night, everybody. I'm going to end the live stream, and we'll see you.
Good night,
next
everybody.
time.